Billionaires are calling for the collapse, folks, right? To enter a new system and whatnot. Today we have a lot to talk about. So in the first half, we're going to be talking about Ripple and XRP. A lot of crazy connections, to say the least, guys. And Bragg House comes into play as well. But then in the second half of the video, we're going to be talking about Silicon Valley Bank and how these wealthy people are calling for system failure as we speak. So first of all, from Cowboy Crypto, holy moly, what do we see right here, guys? So basically, Board of Governors of the Federal Reserve System. Federal Reserve Board announces that Vice Chair for Supervision, Michael S. Barr, wait a moment, what? Is leading a review of the supervision and regulation of Silicon Valley Bank in light of its failure. Where else have we heard this name before, guys? Do you guys remember? Right, if you go all the way down here, check this out right here. Former crypto advisor Michael Barr confirmed as top U.S. financial watchdog, right? And check this out. An ex-Ripple advisor. Wow. An ex-Ripple advisor, guys, right? Not to mention, why and how does it seems like to me, it all connects to XRP or Ripple, guys, right? It's all interconnected some way, somehow. My jaw hit the floor when I read that. We are so close. Haha, I love this movie. Exactly, right? We're not making this stuff up, guys. Why is Ripple arms everywhere, right? Not to mention, he will be leading a review of the supervision and regulation of Silicon Valley Bank, right? So a lot of these things are taking place, but at the same time, remember this right here, right? Biden nominates former Ripple advisor Barr as top U.S. Fed regulator. Ripple adds former U.S. Treasurer to Board of Directors. Guys, and then said most powerful woman in banking, number 6, JP Morgan Chase's Sandy O'Connor as well, guys, right? Which will connect to Ripple. Board lands JP Morgan veteran and regulatory expert Sandy O'Connor, right? So it seems like these people are all in high up positions, guys, but for what purpose and reason? Because they know what's upcoming, right? Setting the rails, setting everything up in order for the what system to come in place, guys, the new system to be in place, right, guys? It all makes sense. Which other crypto company is doing what Ripple has been doing for many years? And don't forget, there's so many NDAs behind the scenes and contracts, guys, that we don't even know what type of partnerships that Ripple truly has, right? Check this out. ISO 20022 based wholesale CBDC bridge replaces Nostro-Vostro accounts plus corresponding banks with liquidity pools using Ripple on-demand liquidity, XRP. It's all about what, guys? Multi-CBDC bridge replaces Nostro-Vostro accounts and corresponding banks with liquidity pools. Then B, the second way to maintain the liquidity pool is by bridging the multi-CBDC bridge on Ripple's on-demand liquidity platform, right? It seems to me, does nobody else see it? It's laughable at this point in time that Ripple is literally everywhere, guys, right? With all these high up institutions, companies, regulators, right? Agencies, the governments, all like everywhere, guys. Why? Right? It's all like a damn spider web, to say the least. Not to mention, now all of this, including security settlement and instant transfers is to be migrated to a new infrastructure per quote-unquote Big Bang, right? It's all about this, what, guys? They use this certain wording, right? Big Bang, overnight, flip the switch. Why is it all like this? Because it truly is. There is no going back and also no gradual move, right? More than 5,000 credit institutions are affected, including a good 1,500 banks and savings banks in this country. And then on the 18th and 19th of March, guys, right? So people are asking, is XRP going to skyrocket as soon as this goes live? We do know the networks are compliant and whatnot, guys, but will it be utilized at this stage? That's the real question, right? Will XRP be utilized at this stage? Let's wait and see. At the same time, from XRP, Bragg House, so Bragg House liked the tweet right here, quote, I don't think they saw that coming, end quotes, right? And then, remember, he's following 589 people. So it's either me or Bragg House, the Riddlers, the XRP community, all of us are crazy, or it's the people who don't really see what's happening behind the scenes are crazy, guys. Which one is it? Which one is the crazy one, right? Is it us or is it them? Because why is he still following 589 people? I don't know, guys. You let me know. But let's go ahead, because this will tie in the next few tweets and whatnot, guys. So pay very close attention. And Brad Garlinghouse liked this tweet. So let's check this out.
Do you have an opinion as to why the SEC picked the fight with Ripple? I mean, Ripple's well funded. You know, Brad Garlinghouse has said publicly that when all said and done, it'd be $100 million in legal fees. That's pretty steep.
Well, I don't think they saw that coming, and I think they probably expected there would be a settlement, and I think they underestimated the fight inside of Brad. There's a lot of sand. I've learned there's a lot of sand inside that fella, and I admire that. And he's doing a service for everyone in crypto.
Let me ask you.
There's a lot of sand inside that fella, guys, right? So there we go. Now remember that the question is SEC versus Ripple going to the Supreme Court, right? We will know by at the end of this month, guys, because there has to be some type of outcome in the case, right? So this month will be explosive for the Ripple factors or events and whatnot. Not to mention, the system is basically collapsing as we speak as well, guys, right? And ISO goes live soon, all at the same damn time. Sure seems to me like what? A coincidence perhaps? No, it's not, because we talked about it. It's all going to be taking place at the same damn time. From Gold Telegraph, billionaire investor Carl Icahn says the system is breaking down and we absolutely have a major problem in our economy today. Yes, this is why we are drifting towards a reset. Exactly, guys. How don't people truly see what's really happening, right? We have a major problem in our economy today, so they're basically not trying to hide it at all, right? One of the worst countries in the world as far as corporate governance, guys. Why? Oh, by the way, this was all pre-planned ahead of time. Why did two banks collapse on itself, guys, right? Because they planned it out that way. They forcefully made that happen, guys, right? The reason being is because to prepare us, the people, because these are the small dominoes which will fall into the big ones. When the finality happens, JP Morgan, all these other banks, guys, Bank of America, all of these other banks, guys, will collapse, and that'll be the big one, right? That's when people rise up. Like, that's when people will get up and be like, what's happening, right? Then they come in as a solution, whatever they wish for it to be. Leadership is worse than mediocre, and that's why we are so successful. I mean, not because we are geniuses, but because you go into a company today, it's really horrible what you find. And then he states, another major issue in the economy right now is a surging inflation, and the Federal Reserve has no choice but to keep raising rates to squash it. But will they really? I don't think so, guys, right? I don't think they're trying to make inflation go down. You know how they could? One fastest way is to collapse the whole system, right? Or make these stocks and cryptos plummet like no tomorrow, right? But they won't do that. Why? Because they're going to protect their wealthy folks and whatnot, right? That means they're not for on our side, basically. I think Powell really has to raise interest rates sooner than later. Inflation is the worst thing in the economy we can have. I don't think you have a choice if you don't keep going on. I really believe that the problem of inflation can become such that it's very, very difficult to get out of. Not really if you just collapse the system, folks, right? Then we'll head into the deflation, right? And then plus they'll have a new system. So they're going to kill multiple birds with one stone, guys, with that finale card that they will play at one point in time in a few years maximum, I believe, in my humble opinion. Now, from Disclose TV, Justin, Moody's cuts outlook on the entire U.S. banking system to negative from stable, setting a rapidly deteriorating operating environment, guys. Again, right? All these people are calling for what, guys? Look at this, the U.S. banking system, basically the financial system, because U.S. banks, by the way, the United States, right, or the banking system, shall I say, is interconnected to every other bank throughout the world, right? Even though they say they may not be, but they literally are, guys, right? If one big bank fails, it's going to domino effect into every other thing, right? Throughout the world, by the way, which will kill all every economy out there. And by the way, of course, we're heading into a crazy environment soon, right? Which will be what? Collapse mode. I mean, we are in it right now. But then, breaking, Ken Griffin of Citadel has said, because the Federal Reserve intervened in Silicon Valley Bank, U.S. capitalism is breaking down before our eyes, guys. This is the craziest thing, right? So many things are happening as we speak. Wait a moment. Did you guys just realize something I realized? They bailed out the banks, but how come they can't bail us out, right? It's a crazy world we're living, guys. It's all upside down. Then the US is supposed to be a capitalist economy, and that's breaking down before our eyes. The regulator was a definition of being asleep at the wheel. We are at full employment, credit losses have been minimal, and bank balance sheets are at their worst, at their strongest ever. It would have been a great lesson in moral hazard. He said losses to depositors would have been immaterial, and it would have driven home the point that risk management is essential. Exactly, they were bailing out banks, guys, right? But they can't bail out we the people. But they sure would love to bail out these banks and the wealthy folks. You don't say, guys? Come on, right? Well, I guess they had to, because if they didn't, the system will collapse, right? Crazy, crazy, crazy. Now, last but not least, from Wall Street Silver, recap of FDIC video. Guys, this is how you guys know it's all pre-planned at the end of the day. Listen to this. This is so crazy. The proof is in the damn pudding. FDIC stated, "We are screwed. They are screwed. We are all screwed. And if they knew it, people will freak the F out," right? If you have to make a stabilizing statement, you are in real trouble. That's what they literally FDIC stated, guys. Listen to this. You can't make this stuff up. It's all pre-planned at the end of the day, not financial advice.
Americans can rest assured that our banking system is safe.
Right? I think you've got to think of the unintended consequences of taking a public that has more full faith and confidence in the banking system than maybe people in this room do. That we want them to have full faith and confidence in the banking system. They all have huge staffs. But I would be careful about the unintended consequences of starting to blast too much of this out in the general.
Important that people understand they can be bailed in, but you don't want a huge run on the institution. But they're going to be.
They're going to be. And
they are more difficult, and then combine that with the fact that they're almost certainly going to fail due to a run on liquidity.
That they're almost certainly going to fail due to a run on liquidity.
I do want to go back to something Jay said about stabilizing statements. In my experience, they're not stabilizing. If you have to make a stabilizing statement, you're in real trouble. And I think that part of that means that there's a lot of pre-work that needs to be done such that those statements aren't seen as a reach. Because if they're seen as a reach, the market sniffs that out in 2 seconds and actually has the opposite impact. And this is one of those big challenges, like what can be done ahead of time so that it's all going as planned.
And emergers at the Silicon Valley Bank will be made whole. Same with the bank in New York. We're going to pay for that with a fund that banks already pay into, not with taxpayer money. Right now, every step being taken has one purpose: to make sure this domino effect ends now. Earlier tonight,
All customers who had deposits in these banks can rest assured. Rest assured they'll be protected. And look, the bottom line is this: Americans can rest assured that our banking system is safe.
Focus on. I do want to go back to something Jay said about stabilizing statements. In my experience, they're not stabilizing. If you have to make a stabilizing statement, you're in real trouble.
You are in real trouble, of course. Stop. Guys, the system will collapse at one point in time. How do people see? I don't get it. I just don't get it. I guess you do now. Are your eyes finally open? They literally have given out the answers to us, guys, but we just need to grasp it, right? And fully and truly understand and realize what this all means, because the proof is in the damn pudding. We do know what it means, guys. The system will collapse at one point in time. The new financial system will go live, and there you guys go. We are now in a new world altogether. We have entered a new world at that point in time, guys. Not financial voice, not financial voice, not financial voice. Beware, beware, beware. What is this, guys? Amazing, see ya.